just lift your toes. And what you should be able to observe is whether or not your arches naturally lift up from the floor. Do you feel your weight going to the outside of your feet when you lift your toes? Or do you have weight going to the inside of your feet? So we can check in, really, do your feet supinate just by lifting your big toes up? That should put the weight to the back of your heels and to the outside edge of your feet, just by lifting your toes. If you're not sure, look down at them and see whether or not when you lift your toes up, remember we talked about this inside bone, the first metatarsal bone. By lifting your toe up, do you see that bone pushing down farther into the floor? Or when you lift your big toe, does that ball of your foot actually lift up? There shouldn't be space here. What you should be able to feel is when you lift your big toe, it actually presses that big toe ball down farther into the floor. And if we're really talking specific numbers, you'd want to see at least 40 degrees, 40 degrees of lift in your big toe, and about a 20-degree lift in the arch of your foot. But don't worry about the numbers. You just want to see movement in both of those bones happening at the same time. So you can make a little note for yourself. Did both of your feet experience that reaction, or did you have one foot that kind of went in like this and the other one went the right way? That's pretty common to have one foot that responds well and the other foot that does pancake. Now we're going to do one foot at a time so that you can feel whether or not when you lift your big toe, your whole leg up into your hip does something. So I want you to, with your right foot, lift the big toe of your right foot. And what you might feel is as the big toe lifts and the arch lifts, you have a rotation outwards through your ankle and your leg all the way up into your hip. And your pelvis might even get twisted towards your leg. And that would be great if you felt that. So when I lift my right big toe, I actually do get this little twist through my entire leg. My weight shifts into that leg, my hips twist towards that foot. And that's a good response to have. So if that's you, awesome. Try your left side, lift your left big toe. And as you can see, zero response in my leg. I actually kind of stay on the inside of this foot. I don't feel, if you put your hand on your leg, you can feel whether or not there's a twist happening through it. I have zero twisting in my leg. My pelvis doesn't twist. My hips don't shift into this leg. It's just like a very unresponsive leg and hip situation. So right side, I have a response. Left side, I got nothing. So simple test. Hopefully you have some information now about what your body is doing. So if you notice that you're like me and you have a left leg that doesn't have a windlass response, or if you had one side, the toes just were a lot less range of motion, then maybe for today's session, you want to work with the leg that is struggling and to give it back a little bit of information about how to do this stuff correctly. So definitely part of the puzzle can be if you actually have a big toe that's really rigid and stiff and arthritic or has a bunion, then that's definitely something that you want to take into consideration, that just having a limited mobility in the toe is going to be a really impactful situation. And sometimes it's just connecting the dots with motor control and teaching your body to do this. So we're going to address both of those things, both the mobility component and the whole body motor control coordination component.